we had someone just putting cheese on it. It was nuts. It was crazy.
Yeah.
You go in shifts, there's 100 people there.
Yeah.
Better than what you've ever been used to.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there's not one
You do the best work.
Yeah.
That's the perfect burger.
Yeah.
Every time.
Welcome to Captive Conversations, brought to you by Captive Wi-Fi. I'm your host, Adam Foreman. This podcast brings you the best stories from suppliers, marketers, and operators from our beloved hospitality sector. Now, let's get on with the show. Hello, everyone. Episode 52. I know the episode number now. I'm getting a bit more organised.
Right.
Today we have Bal from Auden Hospitality.
Hello.
So thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
And I saw you yesterday at the Lightspeed Edge event.
That was 2 in 2 days.
Yeah, I know. So I don't see you for months, and then I see Scott, and then I see you, and then I see yeah. So it's crazy. But thank you for coming.
All right.
You've got a nice history. So it'll be really
Are you
interesting
sure?
to listen to. I think it's pretty cool, to be fair. You don't. This is the problem, right? Everyone's like, oh yeah, I did this, and by the way, I did this, and then I did this, and then you listen it back, and people are like, oh my God, you did that.
I mean, if you list it all, and then you look at it, or you read it,
Yeah.
someone's written something of you, or you look at your CV after a long time, because I haven't looked at mine.
When's the last time you made a CV?
I made mine up. Good job to have ChatGPT.
I love it. You're not back then.
No.
So, all right. So, yeah, thank you for coming. It's going to be really interesting to listen to your history, but we're going to jump in with questions. So we had Matt from Uda in last, and he said for his research, what's the one thing about your job you'd like an AI agent to do? So he basically has built this awesome tool for people management, for people, and in hospitality.
Yeah.
So you can either do a chatbot, or you can ask questions, and different agents come up and do different things at the same time. So rather than just it's AI, there's lots of different things do different things. So one will sort of look at the whole overview of the company.
Yeah.
So if someone asks a question about something specific, that agent will come up and actually help the other agent to fill in information. So rather than just a generic, it's machine learning AI, he's got these little agents all sitting there, and you can eventually make your own. So you can say, I want to create an agent. If someone asks for this specifically, I want to create an agent to do this.
And it's all people-led, like HR.
Yeah. I mean, how it saves thousands of hours.
I bet it does.
So, okay, I'm going to move this out the way as well. I don't want too much pink. Thousands of hours of time. So he said, so that's basically an AI agent is something like a task, or something that you could sort of automate in business, in hospo actually.
We'll talk about it now in just a moment, but I'll tell you one thing.
Yeah.
If I had it when I was in the game, operating, I would have it do my rotors.
Yeah.
And I know everyone had, F&B and they had forth, but they were crap.
Yeah.
Clunky.
Yeah.
Now, I'd have it do, what do I do a lot of now? A lot of benchmarking.
Yeah.
I'd have it do benchmarking, and build mood boards. Funny to be talking about this, and I'm talking about mood boards, because I saw a clip the other day, and it must have been a version of Adobe or Photoshop or something.
Yeah.
And it was just putting on mood boards. I was like, I need to get this thing. Scott does a lot of it.
Yeah.
But we all chime in.
Yeah.
And if I have to do my benchmarks, it's a lot of traipsing, loads of different sites, loads of different restaurants, finding the imagery, trying to reference where you've been, picking out the things, making sure it fits the concept. Would it work? Is it edgy enough?
Yeah.
I'd have something to do that for me, and
Yeah.
it will save me so much time, and then I can validate it. I can validate and go, this works. That image is great. Oh yeah, that menu reads really nice.
Yeah. It's like so the woman from Google at that event last night.
Yeah.
Was talking about it about imagery and Google, and I said to I was next to Angus from Stalkit, and I said to him, Google Photos has been around for 15 years. So my Google Photos, I've got all my kids on it, those images. It's been tagging stuff for over 15 years. So when you type in click vibe on a restaurant in Google Photos, it understands what a vibe is, mostly from people uploading to Google Photos and understanding the photo.
Yeah.
And I think it's really clever that it's taken that whole style of it. So you could potentially have a tool to scrape those images.
Yeah, exactly.
And if the menu's on there, scrape the menu, download the menu. These are all different agents. But anyway.
And hearing from someone at Google saying, honestly, put all your imagery on Google.
Yeah.
Because when we're finding a restaurant,
yeah,
we don't go to the restaurant's website. We're finding a restaurant on a vibe. I often use, I don't know, the likes of Infatuation or something. But then I go on the website and then I'll go on Google.
Yeah.
But most of the time, you're hitting Google first.
Yeah.
And if you've got all the imagery on there.
Yeah.
And
well, to be fair, my kids are TikTok. They'll find a restaurant. They'll find something on TikTok. They'll find a hotel, restaurant, you name it, on TikTok. And it's because it's user-generated content rather than the... Yeah. I would go Google. First thing is on Google.
Yeah.
But Google videos now, if you do a search for a venue and you put the videos as the first 2 images, or it will start playing the video on the search. So clever. So if you want to do like
you know what, I've noticed that.
Yeah, that's new.
In the last few benches I've done, obviously we're looking at Google's, we're looking at their ratings, and then you try to validate the ratings, and you go, okay, because they're all subjective, right?
Yeah.
And we've also been using what's the chat, Prithvi?
Yeah, sentiment search. His product is crazy. Yeah,
his product is crazy, and like he's doing great. He's signing up some great brands, and using that, and then going, all right, I know about. To be fair,
that sort of helps you with your competitive analysis.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Especially, it fits some of our projects.
Yeah,
you know, because some of them would want to know how they're performing against the bench or how the teams are performing. But you just got to be sensitive and go, actually, your team's really shit. You know,
be honest.
Yeah, you don't want to be that honest. So, like, you got to be careful what you do with that data. But yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
But yes, answer to your question.
Yeah,
benchmarks and mood boards.
So the second one was, if you were Prime Minister for the day, what would you do? That's a great question.
I would get a new bloody accountant. That's what I would do. Because none of them know what they're doing. The numbers are all over the place. Public spending's a mess. It's like, you're collecting, let's go back 50 years.
Yeah.
You're collecting, I don't know how many fold more tax. And it's just got worse. Doctor's appointments, anyway, don't get me out, because I will go on a tangent. The other thing I would do, I would make every single politician take a public lie test.
I like that. You know what I would do?
What?
So we had Mark McCulloch on ages ago, and he was like, I will want to bring national service back. But instead of just national service, they either have to work in hospitality or they have to go in the army.
Mate, that is genius.
That's crazy, right?
And that's the thing about hospitality. If they had worked in hospitality, maybe, I don't know, maybe they'll be able to, you'd like to think, but we're talking about politicians, right? You'd like to think they'll be able to resonate.
Yeah.
People will get them more. They just, but they don't. They're just fully.
Okay.
Anyway.
I'll stop you digressing across the board. So, okay, standard questions. Best hospitality experience?
Ooh, I'll give you a recent one.
Go
on. Cole. What do you say about? I mean, it's the 17th best restaurant, right? And it's not by accident. Everything from the moment you walk in to the person taking your coat and greeting you.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel pretentious. To sitting down and the little name cards, and your name is on the menu.
Oh, names on the menu.
Names on the menu. Little gifts.
Yeah.
Someone's explaining what it is, how it's made. The dish comes out with a card from the people that made the actual pottery.
Oh, wow.
It's unbelievable. And there's a QR code. So they're looking after the supplier.
Yeah.
The person, the independent who's made that pottery, flown in from Mexico because it's a Mexican restaurant. The team, every person who touches your table, the GM, the head chef, the som. It's not overpowering. They're not trying to flood you with their knowledge. They're saying, like, what's your vibe?
Yeah.
What's going on?
The light touches.
Light touches. Talking in your language, you know, and how they adapt to that. And then the interactiveness. So when I made our own tortillas.
Yeah.
And then you get it in a beautiful leather tortilla wallet. It's just exceptional. Yeah. And each dish, it is fine dining.
Yeah.
So I know that's not for everybody, and that's not my default go-to way of eating.
Yeah.
But as a treat, you know,
fortunate
enough, I worked with Michelle, and they really looked after us. 4 hours.
4 hours?
Nearly. Wow. We were there. We were the only sitting.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And everyone greeted us. Everyone knew who we were.
Yeah.
Everyone said,
how many covers is it?
Oh, it's not a lot.
Yeah.
I couldn't say it's more than 50 covers, 60 covers.
Yeah.
Maybe less.
When you were the only people there?
No.
I thought you were only seating.
No.
Oh.
It was only sitting.
Oh, it was only sitting.
So they're not turning that table again.
No. Oh, the only sitting. Oh,
Yeah.
gee. Okay. Wow. So single. Well, okay. It's got to be
10-course tasting menu. Full. We walked out there full and pissed.
Yeah.
Beautiful wines, natural. Across the
Is
whole
it wine
spectrum.
pairings?
Wine pairings.
Yeah. I've not done one of them for a while. Actually.
It's just unbelievable, and the food is exceptional. And to put that out every day in that way, in that manner.
Okay, done.
Props.
Okay, best hospitality tech.
I'm new again to this operator's world. I'm not operating any restaurants, so my experience of hospitality tech, I've already mentioned it. Right, it was like F&B and Forth and Micros. We had a little.
I remember talking to you about Micros.
Do you remember?
I remember you mentioning we go to Micros. I was like, don't do it.
We had it in Shake Shack when I got there because it was part of the Middle East.
Yeah, of course.
You just couldn't do anything on it.
Yeah.
Anyway, but more recently, we have been working on implementing a tech stack for a restaurant opening. And the two standouts, Bizimply and Supy.
Yeah.
Supy's fairly new.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people know it. But
based Middle East based, right?
Middle East based.
Yeah.
Well,
which is rare that tech comes
from the Middle East.
Tech that works, no offense to other tech that's over there, because there's some really cool tech over there. But the POS over there, most of it's pretty basic. Yeah. So it's interesting to see that come over. And
the reporting on them.
Yeah.
Well, with Supy, it's how you go about ordering and adding products and adding suppliers, because they're all pains, aren't they? And then how you...
It's nice, it's got like a little ecosystem
with
brilliant.
The modules. It's absolutely brilliant. It will read your invoice. It will check it off against what you've got on your PO. At the moment, I think it's only reading the product code, but it'll be able to read the text.
Nice.
And then Bizimply, the reporting, the automation,
yeah,
the level it can drill down to is incredible.
Yeah.
And I wish I had that. And like to see it now, and you think how it makes life easier. So them two probably stand out. So I'm working on building them for this.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So look, not so nice.
Yeah, because
it's a lot of manual input.
It's a challenge, right?
But in a way, I'm glad I'm doing it.
Don't you wish that manual input would be easier?
Yeah.
Like you just take a photo and upload it.
That'd be brilliant.
Yeah.
But yeah, them two probably my standouts right now.
Awesome. Okay, we're gonna go back in time. Okay, so from the very beginning. So the questions I sent you were like generic questions, but we like to do the history stuff. So where did you originally start in hospo? Where like Scott, for example, doing silver service. I love the silver service thingy. Where did you start? Where was it? What was the early doors?
When I was very little.
Yeah.
Yeah. My uncle had a kiosk in Luton.
Okay.
And I don't know if you know Luton, but there's a park, Wardown Park, and it had a boating lake. So he used to run the boating lake with the boats, and he had a kiosk. And all he did was ice cream, horrible bright orange fake Fanta, and cola.
I love the fake Fanta.
Yeah,
yeah.
And then he did lollies and boiled hot dogs and hamburgers with boiled onions.
Yeah,
that's it. So I used to go there in the summers and work with him.
Oh, how old were you then?
Mate, I was like 9. Slave labor.
Absolutely.
No, I loved it. It formed me. It forged probably why I'm in the industry.
Yeah.
From a very early age, maybe not even realizing. So I did that when I was young, and I grew up all the summer holidays, every kind of half term was there, and then obviously passed it on to his kids. God bless him, he passed away, but I worked there a lot. And then it was almost like a breakup when I got my first job.
Yeah.
And that was at McDonald's.
Okay.
Part-time.
Yeah.
I was at college, funnily enough, studying sports therapy, believe it or not.
Okay.
Because I wanted to be a fitness instructor. That didn't work out, but anyway, I loved it so much. I was only doing Saturday morning, so I'd get up, I'd do the open.
Yeah.
I had to do a litter pick the whole of this retail park.
Yeah.
It's massive. Anyway, and then put the deliveries away, and then run in the kitchen and just do the work. Very quickly, it became to doing a Saturday and a Sunday. Very quickly, it came to when I was old enough, I could do closes.
Yeah.
Doing a Monday after college, a Wednesday, then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
Then every day after college.
Yeah.
And whacking in doubles on the weekend.
Yeah.
And I was there for nearly 9 years.
Wow. 9 years?
Yeah. just work my way up every.
Yeah,
You know,
I think the nice thing about McDonald's, they do that option is there.
Yeah,
and people do diss the brand, but I think the inside piece where you learn and grow, they do a really good job with that.
Yeah, look, there's lots of myths about McDonald's quality wise, and then they mash up stuff, and that's your nugget. It's just bullshit.
Yeah.
Anyway, learn so much. Systems, practice, repetition, and every stage you climb, you have all these tests you have to do for every single thing, everything from mopping the floor to putting fries in a basket. You have a test, and then when you go into kind of leadership roles, it's a training squad, so you're a trainer, and then you're a floor manager, then you're shift running floor manager, second assistant. So I like
Did you get all your stars?
all of them, all of them. Green badge, yellow badge, white badge. So you get the stars and you go up a badge. And then one of the proudest moments was getting my white badge, which is training squad, and you're elite because you can do everything.
Yeah.
So and then every management step is you have a course. There's an exam, and then as you go up the ladder, the courses are longer. You're going away. You're staying away in London, or the head office was in Birmingham as well. Just incredible. And the laughs we had on your days off, people will come back and meet you after close. You'd go out.
My mate worked at McDonald's when I was at college, and I'd always say to him, I'll be there at like 1. So as I drive around the drive-through, he'd be like, quality check, QC, and then all of a sudden his hand would come out the window, and I'm like, thanks for lunch, mate.
Yeah.
And I'd have like a free, every so often have a free Big Mac. Quality
Mate,
check.
it used to be done all the time, but it was crazy, and people underestimate what you learn at McDonald's. And when I don't want to go on about Mackey's, but as a business, we would do on a Saturday in this retail park, a small restaurant, right? On an hourly basis, you'd be doing £3,500.
Wow. In an hour.
In an hour.
That's crazy.
Over your lunch hours.
Yeah.
Like 3-4 hours.
Yeah, but back then it was different because it was just it was on the shelf and it was easy to get out. Now it's a bit longer, right?
Yeah.
Back then it was quick. It was super quick.
It was 90 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
when you're going through the drive-through from the first window where you're ordering to the second one, you should have your bag hanging out.
Yeah.
HBO, hang bag out, right? You just don't. And the level of detail that went into, we had a quality reference guide. A book this big, and it had everything in it.
Yeah.
Everything, all the sections, fries, burgers, and you had to know the yields.
Yeah.
The potato, the size of the potato, how much frost, the blade pulled off the ice cream. This level of detail.
Wow.
And that's what you were tested on.
Yeah.
How quick the drinks flowed.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. It's like the mix is right, and you have to learn how to calibrate all the kit. So coming now and looking at kit and doing design in restaurants.
Yeah.
This is just like
in the back of your mind.
It's
a great grounding. It's a good grounding.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
I had so much fun, and then I kind of was put in a restaurant they took back from a franchisee. It was bust, and then you're now into a little bit of the bigger boys' world, where P&Ls are king.
Yeah,
and you have to. But, I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm tired of this.
Yeah. Did you rescue that restaurant though?
I didn't listen. Because I wasn't prepared to work in a restaurant where I had to repair every kit.
Yeah.
Every piece of kit I had to repair, and it cost a lot of money. And I remember they wouldn't approve a washing machine. We used to wash our cloths.
Yeah.
Every day. So I just got my car, took some money out of the safe, petty cash, went to Curry's, bought a washing machine, just plumbed it in.
Yeah.
And them sort of things, you didn't have license to do.
No.
But I weren't prepared to soak our cloths covered in grease and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I left there. I did a very short stint in Autoglass.
Yeah.
18 months in a call centre. Again, totally different world. You're clean, you're nicer clothes, you're not stinking of grease,
No.
Very different culture, lots of drinking, lots of going out. Loads of meetings. Again, metrics. Very
it's an interesting switch though, isn't it? Because then you go from hospo to office environment, but then I think all throughout hospo that you had, it grounds you with people you meet. But then you got flipped to retail as such. It's sort of retail, isn't it? And you get to meet different people, and it crosses the line, right?
And a lot of them weren't nice. There was a lot of open hatred for others. don't get me wrong, the team were great. I met some brilliant people there. We used to run the night team, so I used to do a 3 till midnight.
Yeah.
And the night team, you get called, and then you've got fitters, and they're a different section, and people who control them, and you're always getting told of, oh, your team member did this. Anyway, very different culture. And then my very best mate, was opening a Subway in Stevenage, and he goes, "I'll start helping him and getting on board." And then I decided to leave, and the call center manager at that time, they're the big boss.
Yeah.
Right. And he was taking a piss. Oh, what? You're going to go and make ham sandwiches, butter and ham? He's one of them guys.
Yeah.
You know, if I met him now, I'd still think he's a knob. But anyway, the good thing is we grew very fast when we did Subways. We opened Stevenage. In that same year, we opened Basildon, first one, in Pitsea. So like rough.
Yeah.
And Pitsea took off. And then we were driving our team backwards and forwards, doing the training from Stevenage. Really hard work, working all hours around the clock. Then we opened another one in Stevenage. Yeah. In 3 years, we opened.
So how long, when was that? What year was that? Because there was a boom. There was a Subway boom at that point.
That was 2005.
Yeah. But there was a massive boom.
2009, 2010. And we had 3 wonderful years, lots of growth.
How many sites did you get to?
We had 8.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. And we were trying to develop our way out of cash flow trouble.
Yeah.
And the cash flow trouble was a little bit of naivety. Some of it was they hadn't decided with the revenue how their hot subs are going to get treated. So that was a farce. And we got assessed, and they backdated all our assessments. And we even had someone in our South End Subway, which used to close at 3:34 a.m.
A.m., wow.
Yeah. And someone was there at the night, next to the till, from the revenue, looking at eating, taking every receipt, So that's how we got assessed. Anyway, we managed to kind of get our way out of that. And then once we got our way out of that, we managed to speak to someone, and they reduced all our amounts, refinanced, paid off a load of leases.
Yeah.
And then 2008 happened.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
And when you see sales fall off a cliff that fast, and it's your business, and it's already tender.
Yeah.
Your margins are really tight.
Yeah.
We just, RBS pulled our overdraft.
Yeah.
We're going Sunday night to the sites, picking up all the cash from the safes.
Yeah.
Monday morning, as soon as the bank, you're dropping the money into the bank.
Yeah.
Hoping it clears in time for your breaks payments to go out. Right? That's what we were running around. And we just didn't survive. So we sold 2.
Yeah.
We gave 3 back, and we closed the others. And that was the end of Subway.
Yeah.
So we nearly lost everything.
Yeah.
It was a really hard time.
Yeah.
Family, personal life.
The whole time.
It was just horrible. Yeah. So from there, it was 18 months of 5 jobs.
Yeah.
Called telemarketing, leaflet drops, helping a mate do.
Yeah.
Removals.
Everyone was struggling.
Anything I could get my hands on.
Yeah.
Anything I could do to get my hands on money, I was doing.
Yeah.
6 jobs at one point I was working.
Wow.
And then, again, my best mate, he got a job in the Middle East, in Kuwait. And he goes, he went for an interview, and he goes, "You got to check this place out. It's mad."
Yeah.
And that was with Shake Shack. I will show you.
Yeah. How many Shake Shacks were there at that point?
He was opening the first one.
Oh, wow.
And then they were opening another one in Dubai.
Yeah.
And that was their first movement outside of the US.
Yeah.
I think at that point, there maybe there 8.
Yeah.
Maybe less Shake Shacks in the US.
Yeah.
And it just
only 8. Oh, okay.
At that time.
Okay.
So
they made a big move. So they made a big move to go to...
Because Al Shire was this big conglomerate almost. Multi-billion pound retail empire. And they had the cash.
Yeah, they were like, "We'll see that. I can see it happening."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a brilliant deal. That actually, it was a steal.
Yeah.
And when they opened Kuwait did the equivalent of a week. So it'd be double. They were doing £180,000 a week.
Wow.
Because it's double, right?
Yeah.
So 80,000 KD a week.
Yeah.
It was mad. Dubai
Yeah.
topped that.
Really?
Yeah, Mall of Emirates.
So what year was Dubai?
Dubai, I think the first Mall of Emirates, 2012.
Okay, so
Or maybe,
Dubai was starting to kick off.
Oh, it just
Because
went off over there.
everyone was moving out at that point.
Yeah.
Everyone was flying out there, and I'm going to work in Dubai.
Yeah.
I remember getting office equipment from a place in Marylebone, and the bloke was like, "Yeah, we're all moving to Dubai. They're like a property agency. We all move in, so you can take whatever you like."
And the flood of expats.
Yeah.
British, South African,
Yeah.
American. There was already loads of Brits and Americans there. Honestly, that Shake Shack must have been like licking their lips, like rubbing their hands together. So that was just incredible. And
what did you go out and work in Kuwait?
I then went in Kuwait as a GM.
Yeah.
But when I went there, they had hired 4 other GMs. There was 2 area managers.
Yeah. Already. Yeah.
And probably about 15 assistants.
Wow.
So when you're talking getting ready for growth, that was in Kuwait. And then Dubai was doing the same, and they were getting ready for Qatar.
Yeah.
Anyway, it ended up, worked really hard, did really well. We trained all the team for Turkey. We trained all the team for Russia.
You had a nice backing from where you were before, right? So you already had the mindset of how it's meant to work.
Yeah, the thing was, the difference was the people they had and the amount of labour.
Yeah.
We had someone just putting cheese on. It was nuts. It was crazy.
Yeah.
You'd go in shift, there's 100 people there.
Yeah.
Better than what you've ever been used to.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there's not one guy running around.
The best work, producing the perfect burger every time.
Yeah. So that photo finish actually looks...
Yeah, and it was, they used to say like, there's a smile on the burger.
Yeah.
How the cheese is, how it hangs out, and the 2 tomatoes. And they'll just get it, nail it, and they'll cut the lettuce perfectly.
Yeah.
The guy in the prep downstairs, he's been there all day. That's all he's doing.
Yeah.
You know, and they're doing crazy numbers. But it was the brand. Al Shire was the big machine and the money.
Yeah.
And able to flood all his people in.
Yeah, of course.
But we had to build that brand.
Yeah, no one knew it.
But the brand had the people thing.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with that brand. To this day, you know, I think it edges Mackey's for what it gave me personally. Sorry, I just smashed the mic. And then you got this incredible, diverse team of people, mainly Filipinos, high energy, die for you.
Yeah.
You know, it was just like the most incredible experience. Come back to London, so I'll speed this up.
So how long were you there?
3 years on and off.
Yeah.
Full time, maybe just over 2.
Yeah.
And then the last year, kind of backwards and forwards. And then I was opening, they were opening London.
Yeah.
And same group, kind of different company.
Okay, so when they opened London, it wasn't the US that
No.
It was franchise.
It was franchised to the Middle East company through a different company. Because we're selling alcohol, right?
Yeah, he's a clever man.
Yeah, so clever. And the opening Covent Garden. And
very clever. That site's very clever.
Very clever.
Teeny done, but go in, the way it's held, it's very clever how they did it.
And the prestige of the site.
Yeah.
Prominence.
Yeah.
Like in the main
I think
square.
I took the team as soon as it opened. We were there. We
was
were
incredible.
There.
But, anyway, I went there for the opening. Martin Dugan, who was my boss, he came back 5 days later and he goes, I need to met him because I need to go. You need to go to London. I was like, why? He goes, it's a disaster. People, kit going wrong. It was in the middle of the heat wave.
Yeah.
Just before they opened, the day after Five Guys opened.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So Five Guys first?
Five Guys opened the day before,
wow.
4th of July.
Yeah.
And these opened on the 5th of July. You know, and they shut off that whole Covent Garden. It was a party. So it took off, came back. I was back for a month, went back.
The
back
customer
for 3
flow
months.
in that place was just weird.
You know, in Jubilee Market,
yeah,
where the seating is now, that wasn't seating. That was the snake for the queue.
Oh no!
And it went down. What is it? Southampton Street.
Yeah, that way. Yeah. Oh no! Really?
It went down. Yeah.
Were they? But you didn't have 100 staff. They had like 4 people probably just smashing
Mate,
4 people taking orders, and maybe 2 people making burgers.
It was a lot of team.
Yeah.
A big team.
Yeah.
But not the right team.
Yeah.
None of them wanted to be there. There was no control. The team we trained for the UK, they came to Kuwait for 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And there was flags.
Yeah.
Right? They just didn't have the desire to what we were trying to do is partly the business's fault, not the brand, the business's fault. They're trying to put this blue chip method.
Yeah.
And put it into the British market. All these different layers.
Yeah.
Cashiers, admins,
Yeah.
cashier admin, receivers, stock controllers.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Just get the labour here.
Yeah.
It just won't work. It will kill your money.
Yeah.
And then when they were opening, they had 16 people over from the Middle East as trainers.
Yeah.
They had a cohort of 10 from the US and the UK team.
Yeah.
So now they're all kind of fighting each other. Who should be right?
Yeah. So we know this works. We know this works.
It was a mess. It was a cauldron.
Yeah.
Of it all just going wrong.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, so I ended up staying, coming back.
Yeah.
My ex-wife at the time didn't like Kuwait.
Yeah.
It just seemed to be like a good fit.
Yeah.
I came back and it was hard. It's the hardest thing I've done in my career.
Really?
Covent Garden nearly killed me. Honestly.
Yeah.
Nearly killed me physically, mentally. I can go on about all the kind of side effects of it, but I love the brand.
Yeah.
And we went through 3 management teams, full.
Yeah.
At one point, it was me, Fareed, and Maria. Fareed was the AGM. Maria was an assistant manager. That was the management team.
Yeah.
Maria go and do the opens.
Yeah.
I'll go and do the mid.
Yeah.
Fareed to do the closes.
Wow.
And we did that for 6 months.
Yeah.
And we sent all the team to Dubai to train.
Yeah.
Some of them landed well, some of them didn't,
Yeah.
as they do. But we managed to then get to a place where we had 2 teams. And then that.
So how many sites did they have?
When I left,
it
was 4.
Okay.
About to open 5 and 6.
Yeah.
So the second site was Stratford.
Yeah.
Then it was New Oxford Street, Cardiff. Funnily enough.
Yeah.
Odd location, odd choice. Anyway, and then it was going to be Victoria and Canary Wharf.
Oh, the Victoria one's massive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's beast.
And it does well.
Yeah.
They do well now.
Well, opposite that. I mean, it's a great location.
Yeah.
They did well getting on the edge of Nova because that little area is like a wind trap.
Yeah. And they do so well.
Yeah.
You know, they do.
I mean, literally, as soon as you come on the stage, it's there. You can't miss it.
Yeah.
You got that, and then you got bleak opposite, which I love.
Yeah. Tiny inside.
Yeah.
Funny shape.
It's a small inside. It looks huge.
No, it does look huge, but it's not massive.
It's because the office is
You've got it upstairs.
and the sign's up there.
And the kitchen's like this odd cone shape.
Yeah.
You know, so it was interesting to get all the kit in there. But no, they've done well there. So when we opened Stratford, we had a whole new team for Stratford. And we were able to get it there. Some good people. Maria led that. Did a great job. They were able to take over Covent Garden team for 3 days.
Okay.
Like fully run it.
Yeah.
Because that's where they've been training after Dubai. So that team then got 3 days out. I think they went to Thorpe Park and then they did other things. They just got smashed for 3 days. Right?
Yeah.
Because they've been getting battered for 18 months. And then, open there.
It doesn't happen nowadays, flying teams over to Dubai. Like,
no,
I'm going to fly you out to the US for the whole team's going to go out, 30 people fly out to the US or Dubai. It doesn't happen anymore. There's no budget for it.
It's interesting you say that because Martin always says everybody underestimates what it takes to bring a brand to market. And it couldn't be further from the truth. No, sorry, it couldn't be truer.
Yeah.
Because we were able to, yes, we had the money, just have teams. And then they can go and build their teams.
Right? It's all about the people.
It's all about the people.
People build people.
And they were in the business. The GMs were in the business for like 4 to 6 months.
Yeah.
Now we're hiring GMs 8 weeks out.
Yeah.
They don't have a hope.
Yeah.
Especially if it's new to market or a new opening.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, the churn is...
It's kind of, that's what causes a churn.
Yeah.
So like, it's important that you...
I was talking to Ruth from Pizza Programs and they've got the academy, right? So where training is. And their retention rate is crazy good, like crazy. And in the academy, she was saying, you sort of get to feel who's one of us. You get within there, you sort of like everyone gels with each other. You can sort of tell in that journey whether they are gonna probably quit or stay. If they want to,
100%.
And it's really interesting on that. So that sort of. People get it. They get the brand. They get the concept. They get the love for the business. They've
had time to be embedded.
Yeah.
And then they've had time for the culture to grow on them.
Yeah.
And them to grow on the culture. Yeah. Because when you don't have that time, doubt set in, imposter sets in, clicks form.
It's so hard.
I'm not saying it don't happen.
Yeah.
If you have a great culture, because it does. But you're just trying to mitigate that risk.
Yeah.
So you're just giving them more time to become a
You're running out of time, as you
or
said.
manager or team member.
Yeah.
You know? And that's what the brand was about. The brand was always used to say, look after each other, then we look after a guest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then it's community, then it's supplier, then it's the investor. That's Danny Meyer's 5 tenets of hospitality, right? And they lived it. And that's what, and I loved what they did. We would have these little slips every pre-meal, every shift briefing. And it was caught doing right.
Yeah.
It was a CDR.
Yeah.
So if someone would go, I caught you giving excellent hospitality yesterday.
Yeah.
Thanks for saying on. You're a great team member. You're a great teamwork.
Nice.
And that will be, you'll have a CDR board, massive, with all these little
notes.
Written notes.
I love that. Yeah.
You know? Old school, but it works.
Yeah.
You know? So...
The little touches always work.
The touches were just incredible. And then they were good at culinary. You know, we had guest chefs. Massimo Bottura did a burger with us. Zach Baines did a burger with us. He brought all these people. We did loads of cool collaborations.
Yeah.
We had the London Lions opening Shake Shack with us. We had a Shake Shack graffiti wall, digital graffiti,
awesome.
band.
Yeah.
You know, we had these green and black balls made.
Yeah.
Basketballs. So the activations and the launches of each site, the marketing budgets were massive.
A bit like what Wingstop are doing now, basically.
Yeah, like massive.
Yeah.
Going all out. Music, parties, DJs.
Not
you
anymore.
know, like,
not anymore, though.
No, not anymore. Because they're established.
Changed,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, new brand.
New brand. The brand's changed. Even the look and feel of the brand has changed.
Yeah.
You know? The best brand I ever worked with. Very quickly after that, I'd had enough because it was hard being managed from the Middle East.
Yeah.
Printers would break and then process, put in a business case, yawn, all that nonsense.
Yeah. Well, out there, it would just be switched.
You can't manage a business from out there.
Yeah.
You know, we were managing the business here. Shake Shack in Covent Garden alone was hitting 6 million in its first year.
Wow. That's
It was me.
Yeah.
It was Romana, who was the accounts guy. It was Lorraine Copes, who was doing the supply.
Yeah.
And it was Parrell doing HR. Right? And then you kind of add another and another and another in this market. At that time, a growing brand. It was carnage.
Yeah.
It really did. It taught you about yourself.
Yeah.
You know, like what you prepared and not prepared to do. Left there, did a short stint in Compass.
Yeah.
Working in the education part.
Okay.
Putting meals.
Yeah.
Horrible. Hated it.
Yeah.
Dinner ladies were told to cook all this amazing food, which if they did, some of them did very well. Most of them were still, I want to cook sausage rolls and pizza.
Yeah.
Right? Schools, consultants, governors.
Yeah.
Everyone's pulling you. Very legislative, analytical.
Yeah.
Stuff I hate. Hated that. Then joined TGP.
Yeah.
After that. That's when we came to By Chloe.
Yeah. So did you meet Simon, or how did that connection work?
No, I applied for, never heard of them, By Chloe, anything, online.
Yeah. For the Covent Garden one.
For the Covent Garden one.
Yeah.
New brand coming over.
Yeah.
Had an interview with Simon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, yes, everything's all good. Happy to take me on. He goes, you're going to have to go to New York for 3 weeks. I was like, oh, no.
Shame.
You know, I don't want to do that. And it was good because I'd been in New York several times with Shake Shack. So I could just tap them all up there. Went out there, met the team out there, spent 3 weeks there working in the site, meeting them. They had an opening going on at Rock Centre.
Okay.
It's crazy busy.
Yeah.
I don't know if it still is. It's not by Chloe anymore.
No, different name.
Different name.
Yeah, if it's still there.
And then, but we were starting from scratch.
Yeah.
You know. I remember my first day in the office.
What was the tech they were using there?
They were using...
Do you remember?
They had a kitchen system and it began with D. They came over.
And the POS? What's standard
Yeah, this was the POS.
Oh, okay.
And then we met the guys over there.
Interesting.
It's left me.
Yeah.
And they were using KDS.
Yeah.
So I was over there going, can you KDS do this? Because we had to develop all of that for Shake Shack.
I remember. No, not remember. By Chloe, I remember.
By Chloe.
Yeah.
And, people weren't doing the bumping. No, and they were like...
Didn't really exist.
It didn't exist.
No.
So we were trying to develop that with Shockwave.
Yes.
They were like, yeah, we can do it. But they couldn't.
Yeah.
It was just two of them trying to develop this KDS.
Dude, I remember 8 stations in Covent Garden. 8 stations.
KDS.
I mean, that was crazy.
And you're trying to tell a chef-led business. they were further ahead in their development of the KDS in the US.
Yeah.
But not trying to blow smoke at my own ass here, but they just didn't know what KDS like I did.
Yeah.
All day
you came from, I mean, the origins of KDS was McDonald's,
McDonald's,
right?
exactly.
Was the original. I mean, I had William Connors on, and I didn't even know that he was the one that told me that McDonald's created the KDS.
Yes.
It never existed until they put that technology in, and everyone was like, hold on, what are they doing? And then it got, people just duplicated.
So, you'll see them now, like when you go into Mackey's, it'll be there. But they're exactly the same, but they're just not as many of them.
Yeah.
And the format. So I only had one on my side.
Yeah.
And you had one on the front side, and the drive-through had one.
Yeah.
That's it, and you would just bump the order.
Yeah.
Bump the order.
Yeah.
Bump the order.
So, yeah.
Anyway, so like that was by Chloe. Oh my God. Again, really hard.
Yeah.
Starting from scratch.
Yeah.
Looking at plans.
But also, the venue was like on the arse end of Covent Garden. Like literally, it was like turn left, go down that way, turn left again, and then find the venue.
Yeah.
And I mean,
and it didn't look like a restaurant should be.
No, not at all.
The building didn't look like it should be there. No. It was long.
Yeah, and you had this weird ass corridor that went round to the rubbish.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Yeah.
But anyway,
but it had a good. But to be fair, I have to give you props. The PR on it was freaking awesome.
Was good.
Yeah,
the PR was good.
It was the first vegan concept really here.
Quick service wise.
Yeah, first proper QSR.
Yeah.
Guac burger with quinoa patty.
And the branding was brilliant.
Oh, it was
right?
on point.
The branding was brilliant.
Yeah.
Again, like dynamics, brand, host, brand, franchisee, all of that sort of stuff.
And you had the imagery on the wall. You had the lights.
The neons.
And it was probably just Instagram, because Instagram weren't doing videos back then. I think it was probably more the photo. I think it was more in early doors of Instagram.
Yes,
it must have been.
It was early doors of Instagram
because that's when the photos went mental. I don't think they had videos just yet.
And it was set up for that.
Yeah. It's Insta-worthy. Like I've never seen so many people just queue and then take a picture of their burger.
Exactly, and next to the neon, and the bathrooms, and the wallpaper. Everything was branded.
Yeah,
everything was interesting.
Yeah.
The bag,
even
the
bag,
liner,
the bags,
the cup.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. All the little logos.
Yeah,
done very well. But opening that, mate, just getting the food in.
Yeah,
with suppliers, getting volumes that worked.
Yeah, I think you had, what was it? It was you had like the fish and chips, but it was like a soya.
It was tofu. It was
tofu, and then encrusted with like a nori and a
That's
thing.
it.
Yeah, I remember.
We would marinate it in nutritional yeast.
Yeah.
Cut a slab.
Yeah.
Let it marinate.
Yeah.
And then batter it and fry it.
Yeah. And we had like nori flakes in it. You had nori flakes, and the chips were. I remember. I so remember it.
Salt and vinegar sprayed on.
It was so good.
It was really a great dish. It was a great seller. And there was my boss at the time didn't think it would work.
Yeah.
But we were trying to make it relevant to the UK.
Yeah.
And it was everyone, the TGP team were going, this is going to fly. I mean, Michelle was an advocate for it, obviously Simon.
Did you have a lot of constraint from the US team?
No, they helped us. I was there when they go, listen, go over there. We're talking about fish and chips. And the Manny, he was a chef over there. He was doing testing and he did the thing. And it was like, that flew off. So, the meatball sub was brilliant. The product was brilliant.
Yeah, you were early doors on development.
Yeah,
food. It was
cool, colourful.
Yeah. It was nice vegan food.
Yeah, it was nice vegan food. Not good for you.
No,
not good for you. But very good. Very good looking.
Even back then, to a couple of years ago, vegan foods, the QSR style vegan stuff was all still very much junky.
Yeah, and there was like the likes of Pharmacy.
Yeah,
and Mildred's full service.
Yeah,
and a few others, right? But doing quite nichey kind of vegan food.
Yeah. And
I think the mistake, it wasn't a mistake, you wouldn't know, the market didn't know, did it? It was vegan.
Yeah.
We should have just said, this is really good food.
Yeah.
And it would have had more legs.
I reckon, it would have done.
Yeah. And not said,
because,
I don't know, vegans will know it's vegan.
Yeah.
That's my take.
It's an interesting marketing piece, isn't it?
It is. It's like a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
You could exclude a market.
Yeah.
And include a market, and it could be both. But doing that opening in the time we had, getting all that product.
It was quick.
Mate, it was quick, but we were shipping burgers and sauces and things over from the US.
Really?
And we had to sort out all our own shipping out. Do the insurance,
Nothing
find
was
a
made
shipping
here.
company. No, but then we had to make stuff on the ground because it was late.
Yeah.
It got delayed.
Yeah.
we had to make the patties
Yeah.
at the back.
Yeah.
Casual chefs, mate, 40 of them, you know what I mean? Just like coming in. And we just couldn't get enough team in. Hard. Again, now that opened, that nearly killed me. One of the 40 odd I've done, probably. But the brand, it had legs, you know?
Yeah, it did.
Overall, I learned a lot. I enjoyed a lot. I learned how TGP works.
I remember meeting you, and you were like, "We're putting Micros in," and I was like, "You're not putting Micros in." And you're like, "Yeah, we're going Micros all the way. We're going to put Micros in."
That's what I knew.
I know, and I was like, "Bah, we don't put Micros in," and you were like, "We're putting Micros in," and then, yeah, they didn't. Yeah,
I would say like part of me then, or I was quite bullish.
Yeah.
Because I think in some ways I had to be in the Middle East to get our way. And you always have to try to stand out. And then coming back to the UK, and it's just us on the ground and they're over there, a few thousand miles away, and try to get them to understand.
Yeah, I can attest that you're a lot more reserved now, or chilled.
You know, I
think it was a stressful time.
It's not necessarily something I'm proud of, but
well, there was a lot of stress, a lot of pressure,
a lot of pressure, and you just think you have to behave, and there wasn't necessarily that person who would go, here, do it like this.
Yeah.
Say it like this.
Yeah. You mean what you now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like what I am now, I would say, like, I'm probably proud of myself now,
Yeah.
how I am and how I behave.
Yeah, but you learn from experience. I spoke to someone yesterday at the event, and I was like, oh, you've got to come on the podcast. It's got a cool bakery, and it's really cool. And I said, we were talking about sitting in the uncomfortable. You've got to sit in the uncomfortable. If you don't sit in the uncomfortable, you don't learn.
Yeah, you don't grow.
And you don't grow. And as you grow and you learn, and I was talking to some other people who are going out their own as consultants, and they're like, oh, I've just spent 90 hours on someone for a project. I only charge them for 5. It's killing me. And I was like, you learn and you grow, and you can call me if you want to and have a rant. It's fine. I literally speak to a few people like that, and they're like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, I've been there. I've done that.
Yeah.
I said, just breathe, and don't take that client or whatever, and so on. You learn from all the mistakes. And I hate saying it, but mistakes are hard, right?
Yeah.
And it kills you because you look 100%. At it and go, oh, but you know what? It makes you stronger. You have to fail to be better.
100%. And like, if I'm honest, Adam, them 2 years leading up to me leaving Shake Shack and then joining TGP and doing Compass in between, I was heartbroken leaving Shake Shack.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I love the brand.
Yeah.
I didn't want to leave. I was half pushed out, but I was worn out.
Yeah.
Then there's all the personal stuff. So that period coming back to London, doing Shake Shack, doing Compass, doing By Chloe, my personal life was...
it
was non-existent. Yeah. It was absolute catastrophe.
You were just work.
And I was just working. And, you were surviving. So you weren't developing. You weren't developing the team.
Yeah.
You thought you were. You thought, you know what I mean? I've done all this. I've done Shake Shack. Oh, Covent Garden. Nearly 6 million. It's not enough.
Yeah.
So it taught me a lot about me.
So what happened after By Chloe?
After By Chloe.
Did you do other projects as well? Did you do other projects with TGP as well?
No, I did. I helped them on the periphery with a Lebanese bakery.
Yeah, I can remember. We've just actually, on that note, we've just put Captive into Lebanon, the Lebanese bakery.
Oh, have you?
Yeah. We've just gone in.
Easy,
yeah. So Iris has got it set up and running.
Nice.
And the marketing girl is out there and got all connected. I had to help. They've got like an IT team from corporate.
Right.
And I said to them, you should go buy this. And they went and bought it and set it up. So I spent an hour and 45 minutes on the phone to the marketing lady, who's lovely. And I was like, can you go into the office? Can you do this? Can you press a reset? I had to reset everything up for them because the IT guy wouldn't do it. He went and bought it because I had to go through purchasing. And then they bought the access point, and I got her set up. So literally, she was up on a.
Taking over the world.
Yeah,
mate.
it's in Lebanon.
Nice.
So yeah, because I remember Lebanese bakery opened on the corner of By Chloe, right?
Yeah, I love that concept.
Yeah,
I love that.
It was great.
It was a great concept. Yeah. I think it had legs. I mean, I think if we could have plunked it 200 meters into Covent Garden,
where Ori was, where Ori was, yeah, you would have killed it.
Different.
It would still be open.
Of course, it would.
Yeah.
It would have been a mainstay of that corner.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So like By Chloe, post By Chloe, I did a very short stint with an ice cream brand.
Yeah.
I won't name them. Young lads.
Yeah.
Very driven. I can't knock them.
Yeah.
We wanted someone to be their operations manager, head of ops. They were ready to give their business up and let someone else run it.
Yeah.
And I was probably not ready to have that battle. And I didn't. I was done.
Yeah.
And that time, post by Chloe, joining them and then leaving, I was like, I fucking hate hospitality.
Really?
Yeah, that was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm not going back.
Yeah. Before we go into that, and just because some of the questions here was like, like leadership.
Yeah.
Because we are coming to the end.
Yeah.
But as one of the ones here, what are the most important lessons that you learned about leadership and hospitality? And is there an experience that shaped your approach to leading teams?
Yeah.
So it'd be quite an interesting one to hear
There's
about.
one we've just briefly touched on.
Yeah.
Me in my transition from Shake Shack to kind of by Chloe.
Yeah.
That
was learning as well.
Yeah, that was a learning. Yeah. Massive learning. But I think it's easier to talk about now because you got hindsight.
Yes.
Everything I was taught in Shake Shack, the human, the people, I was unable to live that in the next two jobs.
Yeah.
The environment weren't set for it. My capacity, my bandwidth weren't there. And I forgot the human.
Yeah.
I was trying to be the boss.
Yeah.
Massive learning. Because I always prided myself on being the human.
Yeah.
And the person. I enjoyed being liked, but I was also like to think I helped inspire people to aspire to be better.
Yeah.
And I think the lesson I took from that is there's a person there first. You know, they're not just a GM or an area manager or a supervisor. There's a person. So let's work on making that person a better person and give them good lessons they take, whether they stay with you or not.
Yeah.
I got the capacity to do that now. That was a massive lesson. And that's how I'm kind of more probably measured, take my time before responding, soak in a lot more.
Yeah.
Experiences have shaped me.
Yeah.
And I've had...
Give that breather.
Yeah, and I'm fortunate enough to have a powerhouse of a partner.
Yeah. You know,
well,
let's tack onto that. So because you did the ice cream thing and then meeting. Obviously you worked with Scott previously anyway.
Yeah.
So what was the conversation piece? Was he like, "Wow, let's do this," or
what when we started Auden?
Yeah.
Well, when Scott started Auden, I was doing Uber.
Were you?
I was in Uber.
You were just done with hospitality
because with when I left the ice cream thing.
Yeah.
Shortly after February.
Yeah.
2020.
Oh, okay.
Well, you know what happened
Yeah.
then, right? And me and Zachary were moving out of our house.
Yeah.
And we were coming to live with Michelle.
Yeah.
And we go, right, we better move this quick because it's going to be a lockdown. There's going to be
there
was a lockdown. So then I couldn't do anything.
No.
And then I started doing Uber. I did that for 3 years.
Yeah.
And in between, I did decorating.
Yeah.
In between, I did some random stuff. But mainly Uber.
Yeah.
It was just a means to an end.
Yeah, of course.
And then I had Zachary.
Yeah.
He was young. I was driving him to and from school. I still am now, but I've got a bit more flexibility.
How old is he?
He's going to be 10 next month.
Wow.
Going to be 10 next month, you know? And it's just flown by.
Yeah.
Absolute joy to have. I also have a daughter with my ex-wife, and she's come back into her life.
Yeah.
The last year, 18 months.
Nice.
And it's lovely. And it's like the family just works.
Yeah.
So
family.
This is a culmination of 6 or 7 years, like, you know.
So with the Uber, were you just done in hospitality? Was that
I was done, man.
You're like your battery has been drained.
Yeah. I was like not interested.
Yeah.
Then Scott came. He's doing something, and I was thinking of doing recruitment.
Yeah.
I was speaking to a few people who I knew I was going to do recruitment. I was going to do decorating because I can decorate.
Thanks. Yeah. Thanks. I'll give you a shout.
Yeah. Mates rates and all that. And it was just like I couldn't get it in me to. I didn't have the desire to want to do it.
Yeah.
It's not something I've done on my 25 years hospitality.
Yeah.
Right? So when you're there, you're just like, no, it's not me. But I wanted to try to do something because I want to achieve something. And then Scott goes, hey, listen, we're doing this thing, this procurement, you know. He goes, let's see how it goes. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
And we started doing that.
Yeah.
And we got 1 or 2 things over the line. And then I started helping him doing this Foxels project.
Yeah.
And then that just became where we are now.
Yeah.
It evolved.
Yeah.
And the reason I went back and spoke to Scott is because how he treated me
Yeah.
when I left by Chloe.
Yeah.
He was just a gentleman.
Yeah, he is.
You know?
Yeah, he is.
And I know he's grumpy northern.
Yeah. Not always.
Not always.
Depends when you find it, but yes.
But he's a good old-fashioned good guy.
Yeah, he is.
You know? And then, I just done a lot of work on myself, namely through just finding myself and Michelle.
Yeah.
There's a massive mention. She's just an absolute powerhouse.
Yeah, she's a beast.
My foundation and like the power and fuel to where I probably.
So while she was learning
herself
and her coaching,
sorted me out.
Yeah, she was like, right,
bam, 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 fix me up. You know what I mean? Like really changed our life, and we had stability.
Yeah.
For the first time in 10 years.
Yeah.
So like that grounding, that base. We always, I don't know if you'll ever meet people who are our mates. When you go into a house, everyone will say, "This feels safe."
Yeah.
So like that's the best way.
I listen when I sit with her.
You do feel safe.
You just immediately. She just talks. Not when she was back in the TGP days, because when she was here, I was talking. She was talking like I remember. I said to her, I remember her at Crab Tavern in Broadgate Circle, and I couldn't even get an edge in because she had like 3 calls and like this, and someone was like, "I need to speak to Michelle," and I'm like, "Good luck." And she was like, have an argument with someone on another phone, and then having a chat with someone on another phone, and then literally like this.
Yeah.
And Simon's like, "Are you done? Can we go?" And she's like, "1 minute." And then pulling Simon about, and it's very different.
And she was on her own kind of professional journey also.
Yeah.
But anyway, like. Everything I think to where I am today, a lot of it, like a major part. She's a major player.
I say
like
that
MVP.
Yeah, I say that behind every powerful man is a more powerful.
Oh man, like she's the powerful woman, and I'm trying to be an okay guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, like enough of blowing smoke up her ass. She's gonna love this bit.
She will. I'm gonna clip it.
The Scott thing, it's evolved.
Yeah.
And
I've seen it. It's amazing. It's amazing.
It's amazing, and it's an arena in hospitality.
Yeah. It's untapped as well.
Yeah.
What he's doing is there's probably there's lots of consultants, but what you're doing doesn't really exist. There's lots of consultants out there that do everything, but the F&B in hotels is so fragmented that no one's really shining a light on how bad some places are that need what the challenges are to need fixing, what the problem is that you can fix, and I think. He's hit it on the
the niche.
Yeah,
because
I thought hotels, and then
I thought I was scared because I haven't done hotels, I haven't done full service.
Yeah,
so like mains away, desserts away, all that sort of thing. It's a new dynamic.
Yeah,
but I tell you what, I do understand. I understand how to open a restaurant.
Yeah, and ops and back. Ops. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, so he's got all of that.
Yeah,
it just
it works.
It just works.
Yeah,
we trust each other.
Yeah.
We don't let each other down. It's put a lot of faith and time in me. I do some amazing things with some amazing clients.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's better than like getting a call in the morning saying the fridge is broken.
Yeah.
Or the coffee machine's not working when
you need to go fix it.
Or the schedule's not done.
Or the Wi-Fi.
There's a P&L review.
The deposit's down.
Yeah.
Can't trade.
And I love this end of it.
Yeah. Well, you get to see... I say it a lot. You get to see positive change, don't you? Of course. You come in when it's like that, and you leave when it's like that.
100%. And taking something from what it could be to making it what it could be.
Yeah. And
doing the process in between. I love all of that.
Yeah.
Like the project of it all. Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that was good. Okay, we're going to go to the final questions now.
Cool.
So, because we've done the history, and I've done Scott's podcast, so I'll do a little link on the end of this to his, so they can understand the journey of Auden, and then I'll put Michelle's in there as well, so they can have a look at ours as well. So, final questions are best restaurant. I know you've done best hospitality experience, but
best restaurant.
Yeah.
I'll give you 2, right? And it's old school.
Yeah.
When I was in Shake Shack, they used to take us to all of Danny's restaurants. So I'd probably go with the Gramercy.
Yeah.
And most recently, the best restaurant, I'd probably say Fonda. I'd like to go there again now. It's open.
Yeah.
We were on Friends and Family. And it's
Hold on, Sons of Fonda? Fonda?
Fonda.
What's that? What is it? What's Fonda?
Mexican.
I don't know it.
In Hedden Street, no?
Oh, no, I don't know it.
Opposite Ambassadors.
Yeah, I know the Ambassadors.
Dude, go there.
Okay, amazing.
Food is incredible.
Is it? Okay.
Cool restaurant.
Yeah.
Food is incredible.
Yeah, love Mexico.
And then I would say, not necessarily a restaurant, but if you like a sandwich, go to Cafe Mondo.
Okay.
Camberwell.
Yeah.
Blow away your concept of a sandwich.
Yeah.
Just two old chefs.
Yeah.
Young chefs, sorry. And they're just probably putting sandwiches together what they would have after a night out.
I love that.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. I love that.
Well priced.
Have you tried sandwich yet?
No.
You're going to need to try that out.
Yeah, we'll do.
Giant.
Yeah.
Giant ones. They're doing pretty well. Okay, best burger. It's a bit of a tricky one.
I know. I like Shake Shack burgers. Not my best burger. I know they were rivals. However, Five Guys.
Yeah.
You just can't go wrong, can you?
Yeah.
Burger and Beyond.
Yeah.
Burger and Beyond.
Oh, they kill it.
Really good.
I was talking to a colleague of mine yesterday at the show yesterday, and he said they didn't know where Box Hall was in Liverpool Street, the new Box Park. It's just opposite the stations. You can't even see where the entrance is, a little sign. And I was telling him about it. So you've got to go. It's awesome. I did a video, bit of content, and since then, everyone I know who's seen the video on LinkedIn have been like, I didn't even know it was there because you can easily miss it. And they've been telling me like, I went here, and so they went, and then he took one of his clients with, and they went to Burger and Beyond and he said it was.
They're so good.
Yeah.
Very good.
We work with them. They're a great team.
Yeah.
They're a great brand. I love it. Okay, best hotel. Oh.
Don't stay in many hotels, but I would say we were in Brighton a couple of years ago, and we stayed in the Selina hotel. Unassuming, you wouldn't even know to book it.
Yeah.
But it's part of a big group. Cool.
Yeah.
A vibe. Quirky rooms.
Yeah.
Nice bar. Great drinks. Probably my most recent stay in a nice hotel. The rest have been just crappy.
Yeah. Okay. 2 questions for the next guest.
If you could start a charity.
Yeah.
Of your own. On your own.
Yeah.
What would that charity be?
Interesting. Okay. And the second one?
And the second one would be, if you can host a famous person, past or present.
I'm about to say that all live. Yeah. Yeah.
Past or present, for a dinner for you and them.
Yeah.
What would the dinner be, and who would it be?
Okay, nice. I like that. Yeah. I like that. Okay, well, I'm going to give you an applause. So thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
Thank you for telling your story.
You're welcome. Thank you for having
we'll
me.
put some links in to Auden and stuff
man.
as well. But it was awesome. Thank you so much.